What's going on, Internet? This is Zach here with the Youngstown Disc Golf Club. Today we're doing a video for you. This is our first video that we've made. And these are the 15 do's and don'ts for disc golf. So, alright, so one thing that we see a lot of that we'd like to get rid of is trashing new people. A lot of times people like to tag along with their friends or they like to bring a buddy. They're new. Everybody had a first day once. Everybody played for the first time one time. So, when you see the new guy on the course, help him out. Maybe give him some advice. Be a mentor to him. Show him how or her to do the right thing. So number 2 on our list is brand fanboys. I do have a favorite brand, but I don't always try to push that brand on other people. The problem is a lot of people think that once they grab a disc and they throw it really well, that is the all-knowing disc, and that disc will do everything right every time. But that's not always the case with different people. Different people have different arm speeds and different strengths, and they throw it a little different. Some people throw it higher, some people throw it lower. So it all depends on the player. So there's nothing wrong with telling people, hey, you should try this disc out, but don't just try to sell someone a disc because that's the disc that you really like, because it may not end up working out well for the other person. Number 3 on our list is follow the rules. There's rules for a reason. Every game has its own rules. It makes the game a little bit more challenging. And there are those people that like to say, oh, we don't really play by those rules. Playing by the rules is what's going to make you a better player. If the course says that a piece of grass is out of bounds, play it as out of bounds. Take the stroke. You're only hurting yourself if you don't play by the rules. So a lot of it also has to do with safety. Walking ahead of players when they're trying to throw or tee off or something like that is dangerous. You can get hurt. Definitely play by the rules. It'll make you a better player in the long run. Number 4 is littering. Littering is it is a crime. It is illegal. I don't know of any place where it's okay to litter besides maybe a garbage dump. But it's a public park. Like, don't throw your trash on the ground or in the woods just because you feel like someone can't see it. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for the course. It makes the course look bad, and it's going to make other people not want to come back if the course is all dirty. So I know a lot of courses have trash cans set up, so utilize them. If not, you're probably carrying a bag or you have pockets. If you have trash, just put it in your pocket or put it in your bag until you get back to a trash can. It's not hard. Number 5 is defacing property. This is a big problem, especially with parks that put in benches at each tee pad. A lot of people like to draw the circle with the disc charger and charge them high, let them fly, or you ace a basket, and some people like to either sign the tee pad, sign the bench, sign the pole that's holding up the tee sign, or sign the basket, and it's disrespectful. It's not your property. Somebody else paid for that. Someone somewhere earned that money somehow to buy all that and put it in for units. Usually it's free to use unless you're at a pay-to-play course, which there it's even worse because now someone else has paid for that property. So stop defacing property. It's not your property. Number 6, we like to call the Coach of the Year. The Coach of the Year is the guy who is giving everyone advice all the time and always telling people that they're doing something wrong. If someone is doing something terribly, terribly wrong, yeah, maybe you could correct them, help them out. And there's nothing wrong with helping out, friends as they're learning the game and as you're learning the game. But you got to draw the line somewhere. Unless you're Ricky Wysocki or Paul Macbeth or Eagle McMahon or one of those guys, giving your advice is probably not welcome at all times. Just try to tone it down a little bit, coach. So with number 7, that actually brings us to refusing to listen. There are people, especially if you're new, there are people that do play better than you. I play with a lot of people that are a lot better than I am. So if someone's offering you advice, even if it's just something simple like, hey, how about instead of like holding it here, you hold it this way or angle it this way instead of that way. Take that advice. Don't just be like, no, I'm good at this. Especially if you're either new or you're not good at it. There's nothing wrong with learning. Everybody, like I said earlier, started somewhere. So don't just be negative all the time. If someone's trying to help you out and give you advice, it's not always a bad idea to take it. Number 8 brings us to music. If you've ever played with me before, you know that I love listening to music while I'm playing. With that being said, anytime before a round starts, I always ask everyone on my card, hey, do you guys mind if I play some music? It's never been an issue before, but there may be that one time you're playing with that one person you've never played before that can't listen to music. It throws off their game or something like that, and you got to be respectful of that. It's not your course, it's not your card, it's not your game, so be respectful of those around you. Also, on a little caveat on that, if you're listening to music, ask if they mind what kind. Some people don't like rap music. Some people don't like rock. Some people don't like country. You know, it's rude to force someone to be surrounded by some music that they don't like. And if you are playing music that's kind of vulgar, a lot of swear words and things like that, and you're in a family park, just be sure if there's kids around or other families around. They may not appreciate swear words or slurs or anything like that. So try to be mindful of those around you, no matter where you're at. Number 9, nice is not a big deal. If somebody throws a disc and someone else says nice, don't lose your mind because somebody said it. There's no magic aura around the word nice. It's going to make your disc fly 200 feet in the other direction because somebody niced your disc. I'm sure you guys heard, don't nice me, bro, don't do that. It's truly not a big deal. At the end of the day, everybody knows it. There's nothing wrong. It's the same thing as someone saying some other random word while you throw it. It doesn't matter, especially while the disc is already in the air. So if you have a problem with someone nicing your disc, it was probably your throw that was wrong to begin with. Number 10 is talking while others are throwing. This is an issue that I don't truly have a problem with, but I know a lot of people do. So once again, this is something that you don't want to force someone to have to interject and be like, hey, do you guys mind stop talking while I'm throwing? It should just be something you do. I can promise you that whatever you're saying to the other guy on your card while someone's teeing off is probably not that important. A lot of people are trying to build their game, they're trying to work harder and bring their stroke game down, so they're focused. They're trying to remain focused on what they're doing, and with you talking, you're distracting them. So if you're playing with some buddies in a casual game, some guys you've played with for a while, it's usually not a big deal. But once again, if you're playing with a new person or someone you've never played with before, it doesn't hurt to not talk while they're throwing. Give them that respect, because you would want the same respect if you felt that way. Number 11 is the thief. So nobody likes a thief. Nobody wants their stuff getting stolen. If you come across a disc, you find a disc, whether it has a name on it or not, do your best to get that person their disc back. So if you find a disc with a name and phone number on it, or a 6-digit, I guess 5 or 6-digit number, that number is going to be their PDGA number. So you can go to pdga.com and go into the search bar and type that number in, and it's going to pull up that person's name. And you can use other sources like different social media sites to locate that person, let them know, hey, I got your disc. Some people, like myself, I write my name and my phone number and my PDGA number on all my discs. So do your best to give them their disc back. Keep in mind that they paid money for that disc. It was their disc, or someone gave it to them. It could be something they won in a tournament as a prize. It could be something that a family member or friend gave them. I have a disc that I carry. I don't ever use it, but it was the first disc I ever bought, and I like to keep it in my bag, just something fun to have around. So if I ever lost it, though, I'd be pretty bummed out. So keep in mind, somebody paid for that disc. Do your best to get it back to them. And if you find a disc with no name on it, or no number, or no markings at all, keep it on you for the rest of your game. And if you see someone else throwing around, say, hey, did you guys lose a disc? And they may say yeah, and you can ask them, well, what kind was it? And if they tell you that, what kind of disc it was, or the color, or something along those lines, then just give it back to them. Nobody likes a thief. Nobody wants to be stolen from, and you wouldn't want it to happen to you. So, don't do it to someone else. Number 12 is throwing a fit. Nobody likes a crybaby. If you're having a bad game, you're having a bad game. Everybody's throwing bad. I just recently played in a tournament, and I did terrible. It was one of the worst games I've ever thrown. But I had a really good time because of the people that I was with. Nobody wants to sit there and listen to you complain or say, if I would have did this, it would have been better. I should have done this, or the way the dog barking and the way the wind's blowing, I can't play like this. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes being around that kind of person. So don't kick your bag, don't throw your discs, or do anything like that. It's just really annoying. You're playing a game. You're supposed to be having fun, hanging out with the people that you like being around. So enjoy yourself. Don't force yourself to have a bad time because you're having a bad game. There's far worse things in life. Number 13 is flight numbers. So the flight numbers that you see on discs, usually it's going to be like your speed and your curve and your fade and all the things like that. Not your curve, your turn, I'm sorry. Those numbers are not law. There's no standardization of them. I know Innova uses them and Dynamic Disc uses them, but there's no standard between the two. A disc that could be a 9 with Innova could also be a 12 with Dynamic Disc. So they're not law. If you go to buy a new disc, don't say, oh, I can only throw 9 speed. My Dragon is I believe a 7 speed, but if I buy this Axiom Crave, that's a 10 speed, so I'm not going to be able to throw it. It's going to be terrible for me. Like I said, they're not law. Don't tell someone to buy a disc because they can throw it they can throw it well and it's at this speed or has this fade or whatever. Take the disc, ask a buddy. If a buddy has the disc, ask them to throw it. I'm sure most of the time they're going to say yes. If not, roll the dice, buy the disc. Worst case scenario, sell it to a buddy you can sell it back to. There's a ton of stores nationwide that will buy used gear, so feel free to sell it back to someone or maybe trade with someone else. I'm always down to trade discs if you got a cool disc that I want, so definitely give it a shot. Number 14 is practice. Practice is huge. The course is not the time to be practicing. You need to go out and go to a field to practice your driving. Find a smaller patch of grass or concrete or different things like that to practice your putting. Go out to a course if you don't have your own basket, and some courses will have a practice basket set up. If not, go to another basket that's wide open so you can see if someone's going to tee off on that basket, and you can step out of their way while they're teeing off and playing the hole, and then when they're done you go right back to it. So practice is huge. Do not use your game time, whether it's casual or tournament, as a time to practice. That's the last place you want to be not knowing how to play to your skill level. So with that, practice does not make perfect either. Just because you're practicing and out in the field throwing doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. So practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Make sure you're doing the right things. If you have questions, ask someone. I'm sure someone around you or a buddy that plays or something like that, someone's willing to help you out. So definitely ask. You don't want to be practicing the wrong thing and get into a bad form. I know that when I started, I used to use my left hand all the time to control my disc as I was pulling back to tee off. And I had some buddies tell me like, hey man, you really got to break that. You're kind of robbing yourself and things like that. So I went out to a field and I put my hand in my pocket, or I held another disc in my left hand, so that way I couldn't grab my right hand disc, and it made my game better. I started throwing a lot better. I'm throwing a lot further and more accurately. So practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Number 15 is to be the person that you would want to play with. If you ever do anything, just ask yourself, would you want someone to do that to you, or would you want someone around you doing that to you while you're trying to play? So this goes back to the talking, the stealing discs, the not playing by the rules, playing loud music, playing offensive music, or trying to be the coach of the year, or have the coach of the year tell you something and then you just ignore his advice. You be a role model. You want to promote the sport. Disc golf has been growing at an incredibly rapid pace over the last even just 10 years. So it's growing a lot bigger. A lot more people are getting interested in it. So like I said, be the person that you want to play with, and then that's going to allow other people to do it. Because if someone comes out for their first time and you're just being a jerk the whole time and you're making fun of them for being new and how poorly they're throwing, or if they drive off the tee pad and throw it 80 feet, and then you're like, oh my gosh, here we go, or it's going to be another 8-hole round. You don't want to be that. That guy's never going to play the game again. And now look at what you've done. You're hurting the community. So, our community is built on a lot of really good people. So, like I said, try to be that person that you would want to play with. All right, everybody, I hope you liked our video. Please subscribe to our channel. We are a new channel. This is our first video. Like the video, comment anything else that you want to see, any other videos that you'd like to see. If we can start getting some subscriptions and some likes on our videos, we're going to be able to start doing things like giveaways and things like that. You guys know I love giving stuff away. So if you like us, subscribe, share the video with your friends, post it in all your groups, and let us know what you'd like to see.